Hello again. Today we are going to understand what is Linq in UiPath. But before starting this video, I would like to thank Mr. Raju for suggesting this awesome topic. In this video, we are going to cover what is Linq, why Linq is required, Linq syntax with examples, and demo in UiPaths. So let's understand what is Linq. Linq is language integrated query, which was introduced by Microsoft in its .NET Framework version 3.5. So it is generally used to retrieve data from different data sources and format. It doesn't matter whether your data source is SQL, whether your data source is object collection, whether your data source is XML document, whether it is .NET dataset or any other data source. Also, it eliminates mismatch between programming languages and database. So if you are a programmer and you have a program in ABCD language and you want to interact with, at the same time, you want to interact with SQL database. Similarly, same time you want to interact with your XML data sets, XML data source. Now, as a programmer, if I want to interact with these both data sources, I need to know both query languages like SQL, like TSQL something, and another one is QXML language. I need to know to interact with the data sources. So Microsoft came up with a solution, and they know that it is very important or it is very difficult to, remember all the query languages. So they came up with a very simple solution and they said, I'm giving you a link. Now you don't have to worry about whether you are interacting with SQL database, whether you are interacting with XML database, whether you are interacting with .NET database or any other ways. You need to know the syntax of the link, and that's all for you. That's completely fine for you. Okay. So link basically interact with your data source. Okay. Execute the query, returns the result, and return the result as an object. This object can be anything. It can be a data table. If you are asking for a data table, then it can be a data table. If you are asking for a string value, it will give you a string value. Whether you are asking for a link, not link, list, it will give you a list. So the return type is always a object. Okay, now let's move to why link is important. So we have seen why link is important over here with this example. Now let's see another one, why link is important. Earlier, whenever I want to go through a huge database, so I used to write a for each loop and then my condition. And then if it is satisfying my condition, then I will say, okay, fine, then do it to the, to a list, to add it to a list. But now Microsoft came up with a link, and the link provide me a very simple uh, query language where I can write my query like SQL. You write a simple query in SQL. It is very similar to SQL. You can write a simple query over here, which is easily human readable, and it will do the same task for you. Sometime when my loops go, multiple loops, multiple condition, it can go this loop or this program can go till 10 to 20 lines. So better you can write a code which was in 1 or 2 lines, and you will get the same result. It will make your program very simple, not like this, a tedious one. Okay, so now let's see how I can write my link queries. So if you want to write your link queries, you have two basic things. The first one is query syntax, and the second one is method syntax or fluent syntax. Let's understand link query syntax first. So link query is very similar to the SQL query. Okay. Now there are four parts which you need to remember whenever you are making your link query. The first part is what is your range variable. The second part is what is your data source. The third one is your condition, and the fourth is what you want. Okay. Now if you see, this is an example. Over here, dr as a data row is my range. I'm saying that, okay, fine, go to all data range. Now my data source is the data table. This is my data table. Now my condition is where, but I'm saying that where convert dot to double dr salary is greater than, this is my condition, when my salary is greater than $15,000. And the fourth one is what I want is select dr, means I want my employee's name to the list. Okay. Now over here, this is a standard syntax of Linq query. Okay, so let me take you to the UiPath so that I can see how I can form a Linq query over there. So I will take you to the UiPath. This is my UiPath panel. So first, let's understand the problem statement. This is my movies Excel file where I have different movies directed by different directors. So what I want over here is I want to have the director name who produced their movies after 1960, and the language was Spanish. Let's take a Spanish one. Okay. So first thing, I will read the Excel file. I will take this one and I will say, yeah, I want to read the movies Excel file over here. And my sheet name is, as I know, my sheet name is 19 zeros movies. I want to go for this movies, and I will remove the range so that it will go for each. It will read entire Excel file, and I will create a data table to save the output of read range. Okay, I've saved it. Now the important part where I will create my um, Linq query. So my Linq query start from keyword, okay, and then you will write the range variable. So I'm making dr as data row, and then the third thing you will write where you want to enumerable variable, which is my sorry, dt, which is my data table. Now second thing is over here, third thing where which is your condition. So my condition is where I'm saying my dr year, this is my column from Excel file, year should be greater than 1960, but I will get error because this is a object variable. So what I will do, I will convert this one into, oh sorry, convert this into a double. Fine, and comparison is done. Okay, but okay, now but I want to implement one more condition over here. I will say that when dr and language should be, when language equal to Spanish, 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 fine. So three things are done. Start always from, and three major things are done. The fourth one is what I want from this query. So I want my dr data row, and I want the value which is director, CTOR director. Okay. Now this is my entire query, which what it is doing actually, it is going through the database or data table and fetching the information whose filter the information whose year is greater than 1960 and the language is Spanish. Okay. Now I want to convert this entire query language into whatever I get into a list. So I got the list of the director who produced their movies after 1960. Okay, and language is Spanish. So I'll create a list. I will say my uh, director list. Fine. Okay, so I need to convert that into a list. Okay, did I got it? Okay, so I've created this one, but the important thing is it is in string, so I need to convert this into a list variable. Okay, so I will say, come on. I need a list of object. I'll say fine. Okay, so I got my list. Now I want to check. So whenever you want to see the output of a collection, you need to have a for each loop, and there you will say my director list. This is my list, and I want to see the output director names over here. So I will take it as a warning, and in this one I'll put my item, and I'm taking it as a warning so that it will be look different from my other traceable information. So I'll run this one. Oh, this Excel is used by another one, so I'll close. I need to close this one. I don't want to save it. So I'll close. Now run it. Okay, fine. I can see there are three directors. So let's check our output whether I'm correct or not. So I'll go to the sheet 1960, put a filter over here, check the language first. So I'll go for the language. My language was Spanish. I'll go to Spanish. Oh, okay. After 1960, there are only three languages, and my three directors are here. Okay, so this is the first task, and this is the first uh, type of link which you can write. But before going to the second type, you need to understand first what is lambda expression, and then we will go for link method syntax. Okay, but first let's understand what is lambda expression. Okay, so in lambda expression, it is actually in a layman language, if I want to say, my lambda expression is nothing but if you have a big program written over here, and I will tell you there is a shortcut to write that program, that is lambda expression. So in C sharp, suppose you have a program over here, the big program over here, which is taking a parameter, and now it is returning something. It is checking the condition and returning true and false for you. Okay. Now in lambda expression, I don't need to write this one. I just wrote a parameter and the condition over here. So this is how I can write in C sharp. Similarly, in VBA, I have a big function over here which takes a parameter, a student type of parameter, and check whether the student is a teenager or not, and return a boolean whether it is true and false. Similarly, you don't need to do anything over here. You just need to write the function, the age, condition, and done. Okay, so this is lambda expression. The second type is link method syntax. Link method syntax. Link method uses extension method included in enumerable and queryable static class. So there are 3 points which you need to remember when you are writing the query this link method. So the first one is, what is your enumerable class? So enumerable class can be your data table, can be a list, can be any collection. The second one is the extension method. So your extension method can be where, can be, different extension method of that enumerable class. And the third one is lambda expression. Okay, so when you have these three things, you can build your link method syntax or link method query completely. Okay, let's go to the UiPath and see how we can use this method to do the same task which we have done in our previous example. Okay, so I'll take my read range first. Let's take a read range, and I'm gonna read the same Excel file, movies. Okay, and I know the sheet name. So my sheet name is 1900S, with which I'm gonna deal, and I'll remove the range. You know why. Now let's take a data table variable. I'll create a data table variable, and this dt is my data table variable. Now the important portion over here, I will take a assign and create a query method, link method. Okay, now three important things which you need to remember: enumerable class, extension method, lambda expression. So first, enumerable class. So dt is data table is my enumerable class as enumerable. Fine. Now extension method. So my extension method which I'm going to use is where for the condition. I'm saying where, and I'm going to use not C sharp lambda function. The third part which I'm going to write over here is a lambda function, but not C sharp, but VB lambda function. Okay. So how I write it? Function fun. I'm sorry, function, and I'll say x. So x is my data row. Okay, and I'm saying function where my function data row year is greater than 1960. Okay, so my error is what is my error? Oh, same. So I need to write c int. Okay, I'll convert this into a int. Okay, now remove. Good. Now second condition, and my x language should be equals to Spanish. Okay, and I'll say okay. But the important thing is where I'm gonna save it as, what I'm gonna save it as. So I'm gonna save it, this complete portion, whatever output I will get, as copy to data table. I'm gonna copy it as a data table. So I'm gonna write it as a data table, and then I'll just do one thing. Mm, I'll create another data table, dt1. Okay, so it's gonna filter all the values. Okay. So it's gonna filter all the values and give me the output. Okay. Now to see the output, what I will do, I will take a right range. Okay. And the same Excel file. I'm gonna paste this data table into my same Excel file, DT1, and sheet name will be Spanish movies. Spanish movies. And yes, I would like to add the header also. Okay. So before running this one, I will close the Excel file. I don't want to save it. Fine. Okay, let's run the process. Okay, I'll go to my folder. Okay, I'll go to my folder. Okay, you can see there's another sheet, and over here you can see you have only 3 datas. So I got the output. Thank you for watching my videos. See you. Bye bye.